Well, hey there, friends. Together we are here live with Trans Northland. So glad to be back, and I'm so excited to introduce you to our incredible guest this day. But before we jump into that, I should say my name is Sean Hayes. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I am a co-founder and the executive director here at Trans Northland. And yes, as I said, I'm so pumped to bring onto the stage this lovely guest star. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am ThatQueerIsa, or out of drag mode Isa.
Yes, and what pronouns do you use in and out of drag?
So in and out of drag, I use she, her pronouns because, she is a femme queen, okay?
That's right. I love it. I love it so much. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and joining us and joining the conversation and just being willing to share a little bit more about yourself and the things you're out there in the community doing. So many things I'm so excited for folks to learn more about. And so for those of you who have been tuning in, whether you're watching us live, thank you so much for tuning in as we're doing these live, or maybe you're watching after the fact on YouTube, or you could also be listening to these conversations on wherever you get your podcasts now, because we fancy like that. Thanks and shout out to Cam Kruger, our amazing board treasurer, who's also like so good and techie and helped me get all of that set up. So yes, find us wherever you find podcasts, YouTube and Facebook. And yes, so as you know, we love to start off with our Gender Joy segment. And so it's just sort of a moment where myself and our lovely guest star can share like a recent moment, right, where we've experienced just that wonderful feeling, joyful, connected feeling of gender euphoria or gender joy. And so, Isa, I'm so curious, do you have, I hope, a gender joy story to share with us?
Oh yes, I have plenty, but I'll keep it simple. So I'll give you a gender joy experience because I'm all about experiences. So honestly, when I get like gender joy, like honestly, it's every time I get into drag. Every time I have my drag mug on, I put my glitter on my cheeks, got my eyebrows done, my lashes, and clip on my little ponytail with some curls. I feel like the most untouchable woman ever. And that gives me gender joy, which I appreciate. And it's every time too.
Oh man, that sounds amazing. And you do so much drag, so you're like feeling all of this gender joy. I love this so much for you, Isa.
Yes, and I get some liquor afterwards too, so it's fabulous.
Win.
Yes.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, that is simple and yet so like profound and beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. And I know for myself, I was just thinking, what can I share? I actually thought ahead this time. Sometimes I'm just like on the spot because I can procrastinate like that sometimes. But I was just reminded yesterday that it was the anniversary of the first time I ever came out as trans. And I was like, man, was that like 9, 10? Oh shit, it's 11 years this year that like wow. And it just hit me last night. I'm like, man, it feels almost like it's just been me, right? This whole time. And at the same time, it feels like just, I don't know, time is so weird like that. I don't know if you experience that too, Isa, but I'm just like, damn, 11 years. And that feels the best. The best.
I know. Well, I want to say congratulations on reaching 11 years, being out loud and proud. I remember me and Sean, for those who don't know, we go back. We go back to when I was in high school, where Sean and Trans Northland reached out and helped me with the resources and support. And I even knew you then. And now to know you now, 11 years down the road, it's fabulous to see you transition into the man that you are today, because I have so much love and admiration for you. And it's just nice to see you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Such kind words. That means a lot coming from you because, and I will say, I feel like I say this all the time, like you are my friend. And yet I still like fanboy so hard over
I was
that.
screaming.
So.
I appreciate you.
So I feel like a compliment from you. Ooh, that feels good. Yeah. So thanks for listening, for those gender joy stories and for sharing, Isa. And we encourage you out there. I think last time we had Dr. Tara Richter on the conversation, and I believe she was our first cisgender guest star that we invited onto the show. And we talked about that, how like you don't have to be trans to experience gender joy. And like those moments happen all the time. And if we like can start to pay attention more, I mean, it's just more joy in a dark time that we are living in right now. I feel like we need all the joy. So, yeah, well, on that note, speaking of joy, we're going to slide into our events, highlighting events moment here in our conversation, because at Trans Northland, we just really want folks to be coming out and connecting into safe community with folks, whether that's one of our events that we put on. Oftentimes, we're collaborating with other groups in the community because we love to work together. But then maybe it's a drag show, right? Maybe you're going out to the depot to catch one of Isa's shows, or maybe you're showing up at like an art gathering that Outfront Minnesota puts on. And so we want folks to be able to connect, not to isolate and be alone, because you aren't. There's so many of us out here in the Northland. So we just want to highlight our actual next event is coming up this Saturday, December 20th, and it'll be from 2 to 4 p.m. And it is our first ever holiday event. We're calling it Cookies, Cocoa, and Crafts because it's in partnership with our dear friends over at the Free Mom Hugs group. So yeah, we'll be downtown at the Imaginarium on Saturday afternoon. There will be so many cookies. One of the moms is so excited to be baking lots of cookies. And there also, note, there will be gluten-free options as well as an option that is also gluten-free, dairy-free, and I believe it's sugar cane free as well. So we're trying to kind of accommodate folks who have different needs when it comes to those holiday treats. So come on down and hang out with us. And then I also want to highlight our next support group, peer support group meeting is coming up on Monday, December 29th. So that'll be after Christmas, right before New Year's. So come hang out with us. You can also join virtually. We'd love to have you join us there. And then, yeah, we usually do highlight a couple of other like community events happening, but I literally want to just hand it over to our queen here because I know you got a couple things coming up, and even one that we literally just planned 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, take it away. So tell the people where they can find you and what's going on.
Oh yes. Well, if you like queer stuff, you need to come on down to the House of Queer. Okay. Our events that we have this week on Friday at the Duluth Depot in the Depot Theater, we have our House of Queer holiday drag show where we have fabulous entertainers coming from Minneapolis. And some of those people being Andre 1000, who I love. I'm obsessed with Andre 1000. We also have Alice in Wonderland, and we also have DeCreme, who is a good sister of mine. And then we have Miss Jaslyn, who is my drag daughter, who will be a part of that show. Myself and DJ'd by Octavia Forte, who was a former guest on Live with Trans Northland. And then Saturday, the next day, we're over at the Superior Flame for Octavia's drag show that she hosts and produces. And that's going to be at 10 p.m. There's going to be a whole mixture of Twin Ports performers. And I think we have like one or two Minneapolis performers as well. And then we're going to skip down to New Year's Eve. I think that's a Wednesday. I will be at the Duluth Flame hosting the countdown, having a good time, partying with some peoples, drinking's looking pretty. So come on down for that. Come count down to 2026 with us, the gay way, because that's the only right way. And then in January, I have a show at called What or Who Got the Ox, and it's a drag show where audience members or people out on the internet, they submit songs that we perform to, and we learn those songs, and then we give you a variety drag show of chaos, slow music, dancing beats, and Cotton Eye Joe. So that's pretty much what I got going on so far.
Oh my gosh, have y'all gotten Cotton Eye Joe?
Yes. Someone needs to request it. I'll do it myself.
I love that so much. And that is such a cool idea. I wasn't able to make your first one that you did because you did one already like this, right?
Yeah.
Where you let
Yes.
folks submit songs and yes. Oh my gosh. I gotta try to get there. I might need to get a babysitter or something, but I gotta
Yeah.
figure it out. And I think you might have, for me, you broke up just a little bit right where you're saying. So where and when is that one happening?
Oh, yeah. So that one is at Duluth Cider on January 23rd at 8 p.m.
Awesome. You heard it here, folks. Um, yeah, so many ways. I mean, girl, you stay busy, but like, I mean, I don't know how you do it, honestly. I mean, I know you're significantly younger than me, so you have energy, baby. But also, like, yeah, you are busy out there. And so, yeah, folks who want to find that queer Isa, you just heard it, right?
Yes.
And then I suppose we can tease this event that we literally just were like, we should do that again. So those of you who might have been around following Trans Northland a year ago may recall that we did a makeup tutorial. And I mean, that's very, no, Issa did awesome, amazing makeup tutorial. Sort of like, it was like get ready for like going out on the town for New Year's, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the same vibe. Or like, do you want to say any more about what you're thinking since we
Oh,
literally
yeah.
just planned this like 8 minutes ago?
Literally. Well, before I get into that, one thing about me and Sean is we love to create opportunities. We're always throwing each other ideas. We always want to plan something, get something done. My brain doesn't stop. Sean's brain doesn't stop. With this event, we are wanting to do another makeup tutorial since, it was enjoyed and people were asking questions. So this time I'm thinking a little bit more drag style makeup. How do I get into my makeup, with the glitters, the contours, and the aggressiveness of makeup. So that's basically what's going to be going down.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it's like the makeup tutorial 2.0.
Yeah, a little
Um,
spiced up.
I was gonna say, I love it. It's like the spicier look.
Yeah.
And for folks who are right, they're looking for a more out on the town look. You can still find that video and go back and watch and pause and do your thing, right? So yeah, now we'll have a couple different looks for folks to be putting out there.
A whole wardrobe.
I love it so much. Oh my gosh. So stay tuned. Let me see. I think we did actually pick a date, but now I forgot about it. Let me see here. It's gonna be on Tuesday, December 30th. So we're giving you a day ahead of time before the New Year's party that you're gonna rock with this look.
Add some glitter on that eye for New Year's.
That's it. Yeah. So join us. We said 6:30 p.m. We'll be live with like a special live with Trans Northland segment. So I'm pumped. Are you
Me
pumped?
too. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready right
Um,
now.
you're always ready, girl.
Yes.
All right. Well, I am so excited to just like dig in a little deeper with you. I know you said like we go back a ways, and I would say honestly, you and I have really gotten to know each other a lot better since you joined the board of directors. So, for those who don't know, Isa is our vice board chair for our board. And I mean, I just got to say, like, you have come in. I don't know. Have you ever been on a board before? I can't remember.
No, Trans Northland was my first board that I've ever joined, and I was nervous. I did not have the qualifications, but it's been a lovely learning experience since I joined it, and I feel more comfortable now. We're like at a little over a year mark. I kind of know what I got to do, know what like the right vocab words, like quorum and things like that. So
Right. It's a whole thing. And I
it
mean,
is.
I kind of love that. I mean, we obviously, like, as a newer nonprofit, like, we're also like learning that whole process and like what we gotta have ready to share with the public if they ask us, and like
Yeah.
how to have these things sort of documented and the ways that the state and potentially feds, require us to. So it is definitely, there's a learning curve there. And there definitely was for me too. I still sometimes have to be like, wait, we need a second, and we need to
Yeah.
document nays or yays,
Yeah.
um, so I just maybe encourage folks, like, if you've ever thought about joining a board, like it doesn't have to be that scary, right? I mean, it seems like, you know, that was your experience, Isa, where it was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but also like you were willing to learn along the way. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
at least on our board, we're like, oh yeah, it's this, or oh wait, Sean, you got to do this thing first. Like everyone kind of like helps that
Yeah.
process, you know, move along in board meetings. And so, yeah, I'm just really grateful that you're on our board and like stepped into that role of leadership because
Oh, yeah.
you have some big visions for the community. And so, you know, I'm going to do a little less talking now, but I'm going to hit you with a question, which I mean, we sort of did a little bit, right, of an intro, and you talked a little bit about how we first connected, but I'd love to sort of just ask you, like, what would you want to share about your life story, like how you got to be in this place you are right now, like what is that story of little Isa getting to this point now in your life?
Well, I will say in one word, it's trauma. That's what I'll say. We all got our little traumas. But you know, I've always have been just ambitious. I've always wanted to be performative and perform. Even like all the way back to like high school and middle school. My teachers even knew I was a different case. They saw that performer in me. I've been talked to by my teachers for that, and I'm happy that I'm at the point where I am now because I remember taking tests like in the 11th grade of like what you're going to go to college for. And mine was always performing arts. So I kind of always knew of like a vision that what I wanted to do in my life while everyone's prepping to go to dentistry. I'm like, I'm going to go dance on the stage and get drinks for part of my pay. But, you know, I absolutely love what I do. I definitely will say that I definitely have not been as visible as I am today. It took some time. You know, I'm still learning myself every single day, like with my own like gender journey. I'm still learning how I want. And I'm also, you know, healing some like childhood traumas on top of that, performing and trying to keep up with that. But you know, it's all been a fabulous journey.
That's I mean, really amazing that that's how you wrapped it up. It's all been a fabulous journey when you started with trauma. And I feel like that is so common though with so
Yeah.
many of us, like, you know, especially folks, I think like you who maybe like knew from a much younger age, right? Like you knew there was something queer about yourself, right? You didn't
Yes.
always know or maybe have the support or like the right words to describe it. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think the awareness that you had, and then yeah, I mean, like that's not been my experience. I've had moments where I'm like, man, I wish I could have like had that experience where I could have come out earlier, right, and started my transition earlier and like been me earlier. And yet, like I didn't have to figure out how to navigate being trans and queer in a small town,
Yeah.
in a small town school, you know, that I mean, I'm not from the Iron Range, but there's sort of a general consensus that more folks are, you know, tend to be more conservative and so not necessarily open and affirming to trans youth. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
trans adult, let alone like trans kids. Like it's a whole
Mm-hmm.
nother thing for people, I think, where they're like, there just should not be trans kids. And it's like,
I
there's gonna
know.
be trans kids. It's
Oh,
just a matter of
absolutely.
how we treat them and support them, right? Or like beat them
Absolutely.
down and make them feel invisible. And so I think it's really amazing that you went from all of those hard moments, I think, that I can imagine you went through to now where
Yeah.
you're like, this is me. This is what I'm getting paid to do. Like the things that you knew
Correct.
you loved, then you're now here doing them. It's amazing.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sean. And like honestly, like you were right about the Iron Range. There are closed-minded people up here, hands down. But you know, growing up here, I kind of knew of people, knew who everyone is, so no one really ever scared me or made me feel threatened in that way. Because my personality always like beat everybody to the punch, and I definitely was a lot more louder and vocal in the day. You know, someone say something to me in the hallways and I would say something back, and would it always be appropriate? No, it would not. But that's how I would get people's respect. They're like, oh no, that's what Issa. And like what you were saying about trans kids are everywhere. They are everywhere. Like especially with coming up in an Iron Range area and like with like the issues going on right now politically, like it's crazy to see because when me and Sean met, we were dealing with a whole situation, or I was with my high school when there was like a lawsuit filed against my high school for me using the females locker room, and with like me also being like on female sports in high school, and Sean and Trans Northland came with support because I did not know this type of realm of what was going on or understood what was going on. But nonetheless, before people start thinking everything was dropped, everything was false, I was in the clear and people did me wrong. Um, but that's definitely one of those like traumatic experiences that I had in the past, you know, that has made me the person who I am along like this whole fabulous journey. It's made me stronger. It's made me ready to talk to people who aren't so open-minded and like don't know much about the trans people and help educate people who are willing to.
Yep, I think that that piece is so huge. You know, like the being willing to educate folks, you know, who may be curious, right? Or who may have a little bit of an open mindedness, right? Because those are the folks, you know, kind of on the fence where they're maybe seeing this stuff, the attacks on trans folks, on trans healthcare, on all things trans, honestly. And they're like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like maybe a country that I believe it is, right, where we say we're a country of freedom, and letting people live their dreams when people are literally legislating our dreams and freedoms away. And so I think there are so many people on the fence, but they don't think they know a trans person, right? Or like they've never like had a conversation with someone about what it means to be trans. And so then of course they're uneducated, they're more likely to kind of lean, well, I don't know, maybe it is harmful, maybe it is these things I hear in the media about what it's like to be trans from a lot of cisgender conservative people who have no idea what it means to be trans.
Oh
um,
yeah.
and so, yeah, I think what you do and like the way that you're open to like sharing and educating is so powerful. And it's like, we need more folks like you, I think, out there. Like, and it takes courage, right, to do that. And so, yeah, you are a very courageous queen. I will say that.
Thank
Um,
you.
and so, speaking of your queenship, maybe this is like leading us into some of the questions I had shared with you,
Mm-hmm.
just to like learn more about your process. And I think for folks to learn more about like the drag world in general, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, man, I've been going to shows my whole life, but you know, I don't ever know someone's story of how they got involved. Like,
Yeah.
what did your first show look like? What did you do leading up to that? How does that happen? I'm so curious.
But basically, from my journey, so I started drag in August of 2022, and there was a show happening up north in Ely, Minnesota, and it was kind of like a big thing. It was a drag brunch that was being promoted at the time by some company that I did not know, and I was like, oh my gosh! And it was the talk of the town. It was the talk of the range. People were like, are you going? Yes, I am going, of course. But then with me saying that I was going and putting like going like on the Facebook event page or whatever, I saw one of their posts by Flip Phone Events who put on the drag brunch up in Ely. And I commented, I'm like, oh hey, like if you need anybody or like if you need someone in the show or like need help with something, like I'm willing, like let me know. Like so I just did that. Did not expect to get answered to. I was totally expecting to get the cold shoulder, ignored. And then here comes Chad from Flip Phone Events, who is the owner of Flip Phone Events, messaging me, asking me if I wanted to do a cameo performance in their drag brunch. And a cameo performance, basically, like let's say like you have like a one show. Usually there's like 3 to 4 rounds in the show. You would do one number. That's basically what a cameo is. It's just like a quick little spotlight number to show people who you are, see what you can do. And that's exactly what I did. I was very excited to do that because I always knew, like I told you, I wanted to do drag. But then I was getting to a point where I was like turning 21 and I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know how I'm gonna get started, but like once I have like that golden ticket to perform, I'm gonna do it. And this drag brunch was the ticket. So it was very exciting. I had no experience, but I did a lot of research on TikTok and YouTube, and I watched a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race, like more than I should. So I had a starting area of where to go. And honestly, that's kind of where I started, a hope, a dream, and like the heart to do it. And, you know, I started ordering my supplies to get ready. Um, I had to think of like a good first song to perform to. Like, what is going to be your very first song? Because that will follow you everywhere. So I decided to perform to My Head and My Heart. I believe that's what it's called. I always mess up title order of the words, but My Head and My Heart by Ava Max. And honestly, it went great until I went to do a split in my first performance, right? I hear like a cracker pop in my like hamstring or whatever. And then also my heel, because I was wearing like a little ankle strap, um, like type of heel. I did my split and the heel like slides from underneath my heel and is just dangling by my ankle as I'm performing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It was my first number, first show. I was so nervous. And honestly, I just kept walking. And then until Matt, who is a helper of flip phone events, and he does like tip buckets and stuff like that as well too. He was like, do you want me to get your shoe? As I was performing, I was like, yep. And I held out my ankle and he unstrapped my shoes and I continued to perform. But that whole first like day of performing, because I think we had 2 shows that day, like back something like that. There was like 2 shows, but it was all such a magical experience. I got to perform with Mercedes Iman Diamond for the first time, who people who don't know, that's our Minnesota queen, who's from RuPaul's Drag Race season 11. So that was very exciting to get to work with a brew girl, my very first show. I also got to work with, for my very first show, Jaden Dior Fierce from RuPaul's Drag Race season 7. So them just being like kind of like in my home turf, and then like this being like my first show, it was all like me questioning reality, like what is going on. But it's such a fabulous experience. I will never forget it. I remember like crying afterwards after the show. And it's something that like I definitely would do again. But you know, I have this great first experience to carry on with me for my whole life and get to share my story on that. And I don't know, I love it.
That is so awesome. And oh my gosh, like just the I don't know, would you say wardrobe malfunction? Like, and
Yep.
you still played it and like performed and like kept it happening.
Yeah.
Which is just so you, like the person I know you to be. Like,
Yeah.
we're not letting something like a broken heel stop this performance. And I did pull it up. So yeah, by Ava Max, My Head and My Heart.
Yes.
So that's so amazing because I was literally going to be like, do you remember what the first song was? And then you set it up perfectly, of course,
Yeah.
because like that's a memory, I suppose, that's probably like cemented in your brain.
Oh, forever. And the video's
And
probably still out there with me having my little wardrobe crunchy moment, you know, flip phone likes to post videos, and of course they had to post that moment. So
dang it,
yes.
of course,
Love
man.
them though.
Yes, that is so amazing. Okay, so you get your start. You just literally reached out randomly to this group, Flip Phone Events, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and they are a group. Are they like statewide in Minnesota? Like, are they based
Oh.
in the Twin Cities, or like, can you say a little more?
So flip phone events is like I mentioned, they're all done like by Chad. Like he's like the owner. I'm sure he has people that works for him branched off, but he is in Minnesota. He's in a whole bunch of different states. He's like in California. I think there's one in Florida. I don't. They have like shows everywhere. I think there was like one in like Texas. There's some in Chicago. Yeah, they're kind of like everywhere. Flip Phone is the biggest drag entertainment company in Minnesota for sure, and they're known for like their amazing experiences that they bring. Like they bring really polished drag performers, a great ass time, and that alone is going to be a success. You put in bottomless mimosas and some drag queens doing splits, like people are going to be screaming about that for years to come. So
You literally cannot go wrong. Mimosas,
yeah,
drag, it's together. It goes together.
absolutely.
I love that so much. And I don't think I've ever been to one of their shows. I mean, do they usually pop up like in the Twin Cities area or have they come up
Yeah,
this way too?
they're like in the Minneapolis area, so they do stuff at like Crave, at the Crave rooftop. They have some shows that happen at the saloon with brew girls that come to travel. I can't remember the other places they do. Oh, Quincy Hall, they do shows there as well. First Avenue, where they have Flip Phone Superstar actually happening tomorrow, which is like a big drag competition.
What? Okay.
Yeah,
Is there a way folks can like tune in to like watch that? Do they do any like live streaming, do you know? Or man,
that would
that
be
sounds so cool.
that would be very smart if they definitely did that. But I don't think that get to go see at First Avenue. They have like your tickets online, and they have like a VIP option where you can meet the guest judge, who is Jimbo from RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars season 10 winner, I believe. So she's going to be judging that. And then my drag sister Kendall, she's also going to be judging that. And then we have a few Twin Ports divas representing the Twin Ports tomorrow, which is Dixie Diamond and Buttercream and the Original Eve. They're all competing tomorrow, so can't wait to see how this turns out.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
stay tuned, folks, and like follow ThatQueerIsa's socials. Which actually that reminds me, I can pop those up right now. Bam, there they are.
Yes.
Make sure you're following. That's so exciting. I didn't realize 3 folks from up this, or did you say 4 folks? Man.
It was 4, but now it's 3.
Okay, either
Yeah.
way, that's great. I love that. Northland, Greater Minnesota representation.
Oh, absolutely. I had to sit this year out because Flip Phone Superstar stresses me out. All the drag performers say Superstar is like one of the most stressful things like in the drag competition, like local world. Like between you and I in this live, last year when I did Flip Phone Superstar, I was so stressed out. I was so stressed out, and they decided to put me first out of the 20 people that had to go. Right.
Oh,
So
man.
then I'm struggling to secure my ponytail so it doesn't fly off when I do a split in 7-inch pleasers. And I was just so stressed, I started crying. I was just like crying, putting my bobby pins in. I'm like, I gotta go. And then I went out and I performed and I did great. So stressful, but I need to take some time before I put my hat into the ring again because I cannot do that right now.
That is fair. And I feel like that
Yeah.
awareness, right, of how you're doing and like
Oh
what
yeah.
level of stress that was, that is wise of
Oh,
you.
I'm a tough cookie to crack. I don't cry for nothing. I was stressed right before. It
Yeah.
was right before the number. I was like, there's people I know out there. And like that same day, my mom flew out from Atlanta to come see me perform. So there's so much at stake. So I just wanted to make sure it was good.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That makes sense. I would be real stressed
Oh, yeah.
out.
Oh, yeah. But you can always push through. The show must go on.
Yeah, that is it. And I mean, you keep the show going. And so I'm curious. Okay, so like here's another like drag question for you, and I think for the people, right? Like,
Mhm.
so can you talk a little bit about what it means, for you or like just generally, right, in the drag world to be a house mother? Because and then like talk about your house and maybe like how did that get going and
Oh,
like how
yeah.
do y'all support each other? Are you just like performing on those shows together? Like what does it look
Yeah.
like on the daily?
Well, so I will say to start this out, it's pretty controversial for me to be a house mother and kind of like in the traditional drag world, just because I am so young in age and also I'm so young in experience. But with my specific drag house, the House of Queer and the Twin Ports drag scene is its own thing. So me wanting to be a house mother, I want with the game that I've learned of drag, there is so much game and there's so much, what is the word? Socializing and there's like a special word for it. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. There's a fancy word for it. But communicating with people, putting yourself out there, it's a whole game. And then like of course getting into wardrobe and getting things together, concepts, creativity, execution. I just wanted to be a person that someone could look up to in the drag world, in the Twin Ports specifically, that kind of has like the same vision as I do, like with drag in general. Like I wanted to be someone you could go to for like where can I start to get like pieces to like make an outfit, or where can I get hair from? How do I apply makeup? How do I captivate and have stage presence? How do I, work the crowd? Like there's so many different things that go into that. So to be able to have a drag mother for me is to be able to have someone you can go to about really anything in the drag world. And in my drag house, I have 3 drag children, which my first one is Miss Jaslyn. She is from the Superior area, but then she moved to Tennessee for a little bit, and then she came back, and I snatched her up. I saw her, and I was like, I want you. And she was the first one to get my motherly blood flowing. And then coming up next is Octavia Forte, who is my second drag child. Her 1 year anniversary of being my drag child is actually like this month. It like happened like a week or two ago. So she has officially hit the year mark with Jocelyn as well. And then my third, I have a drag son named Anomaly, who I absolutely love. His drag, his vibe, how he performs, and all of us together, we are the House of Queer. You know, we do shows over at the Depot, at Duluth Cider. We do shows up in the Northland area. We've done brunches. So yeah, I forgot the other questions about that.
No, I mean, I think you're talking about it a lot too, and it's like I think I have this sort of idea about like what it means to be a part of a house, like that there's obviously there's the main component, right, is like what brings you together is the drag piece and like performance and like you said, there's so many different pieces involved that I think none of us in an audience are ever thinking about, but like how many hours do you spend working on like an outfit and then like planning the shows and like setting up the music and like all of these different things, right? And hosting, you know, for you, like hours and hours of work for like those 3-minute songs, right? And then you're just like, wow, that you know, and of course the people love it, right? But so there's I think that drag piece, but I think I'm curious, like if there's an additional piece of like, you know, we're not just here for the art and to like make tips and to like build popularity or, you know, something like that. I mean, obviously that's a huge part of it. And like always tip your drag performers. Always come with the dollars or fives or tens or 20s.
You know it.
That's it, right? That's where it's at. But yeah, I mean, what, like, are there more ways that y'all support each other or like that you as a house mother are trying to sort of build this house? Like, are you looking for new folks? Like how does it all feel for y'all behind the scenes?
Well, what I will say is I have my tubes tied right now. I've been told to close the legs and not have any more children for there right now. And honestly, I think with the trifecta of drag performers that I have right now, my 3 drag children, I don't need nobody else. We all fit so well. It's crazy because we're not like blood family at all. We're chosen family, but there's so many moments where I'm like, I see myself in Jocelyn, Anomaly, Octavia, like so many different moments in how we go about and handle situations, different little mannerisms, like we see it all. But for getting into like drag and like a drag show, how much time I spend on it, honestly, the real answer is my brain doesn't shut off. The weekends are the performing days for me. That's when I am like actively prepping clothes, hair, and getting ready to perform. But usually the weekdays, that's when I'm plotting, strategizing, and getting everything together. This brain does not shut off, which is kind of something I'm still learning how to do. But at the same time, I'm having so much fun. So I'm kind of like, why would I want to shut my brain off if I'm having fun? Like, I just enjoy the whole process. And like Sean was mentioning, I do host shows, and you know, people probably don't know how that works out, but you know, with hosting a drag show, for people who want to host a drag show, I got something for you. So for me, how I got my first drag show up is, you know, connections. That's what the word I was looking for earlier. Connections. It's so simple, but I didn't remember because, you know, reasons I can't explain. But you have to find like a great venue to perform at, a venue that is inclusive to all the performers that you have, the queer community, the trans community. You got to make sure the venue and the owners are in check. You got to make sure it's good. You can reach out and like, you know, be like, you're wanting to see a potential opportunity to host an event here, and then, you know, you have your meeting, you work out the logistics, see what will work, ticket sales, bar sales, all that stuff. You have to figure all that out beforehand. Make sure you have something for your guests, okay? Even if it's non-alcoholic beverages or alcoholic beverages, make sure you have something, because people don't want dry mouth while watching a drag show. You want to have fun. You know what I mean? But that's after you get that part, it's really just putting all the pieces together. You gotta, after you confirm your dates and you get the venue booked and all that, then I go into booking the performers on who I want to book. And I try to keep the cast diverse as possible, because you know you want to have drag kings, you want to have drag queens, you want to have people of color, you want to have trans performers as well, everything in between. So you have to see what people. Also at the same time, you want to have people who can entertain a crowd. You know, everyone can do drag, but when it comes to hosting a drag show, and this might be a little tough for some people, but when you're hosting a drag show and you're putting your own money into it, you have to see what is going to sell. So then you aren't just pulling everything out of your pocket and not making anything out of it, if you know what I mean. You got to make sure that the drag is entertaining. You got to make sure that you're able to understand what's going on. You have to make sure the whole atmosphere is just good and positive and nothing like abrupt, no distractions, just good vibes. And that's what I always try to bring in with every show. And then really, you get the set list going, figure out the songs, get your DJs, and then you have the show, and then it's hosting. So there's many things that go into hosting a drag show. But once you get the first one down, and the next one's up to come, it all kind of is like muscle memory.
Yep, and that totally makes sense. And yeah, for those watching and tuning in, I hope that gives like a little bit more, I mean a lot more appreciation to all of our, drag royalty folks here in the Northland, especially folks like Isa who are like producing the shows and hosting on top of all of those other details, right? That none of us think about. We just show up with our cash and want to be entertained. And so I don't know, I just feel like grateful because, just for myself, like I have certainly taken that for granted and not really thought about like how much work and time and like energy and I think inspiration like has to happen first before we even walk in the door,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know. I know that for me, it seems like in the last, gosh, just couple years, like the drag scene in the Northland has really like exploded
Yeah.
with so many different kinds of performers and houses and shows and then venues. Like,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I just remember like years ago, like I would have never considered the idea that there could be a drag show happening at a place like Duluth Cider that's
Right.
not an LGBT bar, right?
Right.
Like and I love that, right? Like I mean drag is art and it is not just for queer and trans folks, right? It's for everyone who's open and curious and wants to enjoy and have a fabulous time while you're at it. And so, I mean, I love it. There's just so many different vibes happening out there, and I think I just want to name that. I think the way that you show up is so, I don't know, inspirational, because I know that there are ways that like there's competition, right, that happens just sort of naturally, right, in like
Yeah.
drag race, right? RuPaul, it is all a competition, right?
Yeah.
And yet I think there's ways that we can do that in community that like folks can stay connected. Folks can continue to support other folks' work, other folks' art. And it seems like there's plenty of space and like plenty of potential venues for folks who are coming into it, right? Or who want to expand where they're showing their art and their performances. And so I don't know, I just want to give you props because I think it's
Yeah.
beautiful the way that you do it, where you're like highlighting all these like you said, diverse artists out there and like giving them the spotlight that they all deserve.
Oh, I absolutely try to, because like in the drag world, you know, it might sound crazy coming from a fellow pretty girl, but there's a lot of pretty mean girls out there that kind of try to run things, and that's not how I like it, and that's not how a lot of other people like it. I want the shows that at least I do. I want to have diversity. I want to have a whole bunch of people that I can relate to, talk to, and just laugh at life with, complain about life with, and put on a good show for people. That's what I want to do.
Yep. And I feel like every single show I have gone to of yours, I always leave like just, yeah, this is our community. These are our people. And they're so
Yes.
amazing, and just pumped. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh man, hope has been restored. Because look at all these
Yes.
people performing and out there and being visible and being loud and like taking up space, which is
Yeah.
what we need more of.
And like I do want to say, because like you mentioned earlier, like it was not always like this in the Twin Ports, and now it's kind of been like a whole drag transformation in the Twin Ports. And I just want to say uh, it's not on me. It's not on me. I wish it was, but it's not on me. And there are people who came before me in the Twin Ports as drag performers who have really paved the work. There's a lot of people, and probably some I'll forget, but just some honorable mentions. Mr. A, putting in the work, hard work. We have Ariel T. I'm not going to say the full name because, it's not alive, appropriate, but Ariel, if you know, you know. And then also we have queens like Buttercream who really put in the work and like help make this community what it is as well. The Body Electric is doing stuff now. We have, the House of Queer. We have the Duluth Flame. We have so many different things. We have new drag entertainment companies coming in and doing shows out with Wired Whisker. Like it all comes together, but there are definitely people before us who put in that work. And, of course I gotta, what's the word? Be appreciative of that.
Yes. Oh, certainly. Yeah. I mean, I love that point. Thank you for bringing that in. Cause yeah, I mean, I remember when I was in my early 20s going to some shows, like the first shows I had ever been to, Mr. A. Oh, I had such a crush on Mr. A. Still
Yes.
do. Hey, Mr.
I
A.
love it.
So yes, I love that you brought that in, and yeah, Ariel and all of these folks, and I love to see a little resurgence of some of those folks, right, popping back up. Mr. A coming out here and getting involved in Two Harbors Pride and shows around here.
Yeah, I won't confirm nothing, but I will say there's something happening soon, not put on by me, by someone else out there in the Twin Ports that may or may not be bringing folks together.
Ooh, oh, there you have it. Teasing
Yes.
something exciting. Oh,
It's gonna be good, and I'm gonna be part of it too, so it's gonna be fun.
oh, love it, love it, love to hear it. Oh my goodness. Well, yes, I'm just like looking at our time too, and I'm like, holy crap, these conversations always just fly by for me at least.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm just feeling so grateful for this conversation. And so, I know you mentioned early in the conversation, during our events portion that you've got an event coming up in January. And then I'm just curious, like, do you have other like sort of dreams, ideas, thoughts for the coming year and how folks can continue to show up and become new fans and
Yes.
what can we look forward to in the coming year?
So something that you can look forward to in the coming new year is I am wanting to add more to my drag. And by adding more to my drag, it's more so what I have to offer. I want to offer more than just lip syncing a song. I'm not going to give away all details because, there are haters out there that love to steal the sauce and then claim it as their own. Cannot let that happen. But I do have a few ideas of how I'm going to wake it up in 2026. And that may be entering some pageants or hosting some other events that isn't just solely based on performing. Maybe a one woman type show. We'll never know. But I do have plans, and I've talked to you about one of them, Sean, but we aren't going to release that yet. We're going to save that. But 2026 is going to be a great year. I know that for sure.
Hell yes. So just like expanding on the already amazing art that you do. So that's exciting. I'm super pumped for all of the ideas that you have and will be sharing with all of us soon. That is so exciting. And I love it because, yeah, it's like drag can be so many different things. And like you are more than also just drag. And so like being able to play with that and evolve as a performer, I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Honestly, I'm really excited. And to be so real, I've kind of had to rethink a couple things with my back issues. So I'm like, let me do something else other than performing. But at the same time, like I am a whole wheelhouse of talent that people have not seen yet. So I'm excited to see what people think of it.
Yes, just popping this up from you already named him, Anomaly. Tuning in. Okay, while we're popping folks up, we'll just pop up Diane too. Didn't Diane just perform this last weekend too? Would you say what Diane does is like a cameo? That was the word you used, right?
I would say you're on the right track. I would say Diane's was like a royalty cameo. We had like a local Twin Ports legend giving us the honor to watch her perform. And it's her iconic song that she did. I think it's like Rocking Around the Tree. or that
Yes.
one. Yep, she always eats it up.
Oh, I wish I could have been there to see it. Yeah, I love that. It's like bringing folks in here and there, like to be able to perform. You don't have to like perform at all the shows. Like
Right.
there's so many ways to connect in and get involved, which I love. All right. Well, Isa, as we're wrapping it up, so I mean, you already mentioned like JAG is physically hard on folks' bodies, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned some back issues, and so we're sort of like asking folks this at the end of every conversation, just also because of like the climate that we're in right now, where everything is so awful every day,
Yes.
like in happening in our country, and especially when it comes to attacks on trans folks' rights. And so how are you taking care of yourself in this time? How are you staying like hopeful and staying inspired and staying connected?
Honestly, one way that like I'm kind of taking care of myself is being able to give myself some like mental space and like mental peace. Just give myself to have a second to just process what I need to process without any other things like that are standing right in front of me, like drag or personal life things. Just give myself time to think. Because if your brain is not right or your brain is not clear, everything else is going to be a struggle. So that's one way I try to get it together. Is kind of get my mind in the right spot, but also letting your body just rest. Like everyone is always doing something. Like I know we're all trying to stay busy during like these hard times, and like every day you wake up and it's like something even worse. But taking care of your body, and that's eating right. I don't necessarily eat right, but as long as you're eating something, you're eating right. We got to feed ourselves. Taking special time to just like take a hot bath, relax those muscles, put on some Netflix. I think we still stand them. Turn on some Netflix, get a bubble bath, treat yourself to things that you enjoy, even if like, it's in between you doing all these busy things. Like putting away a little bit of time will do plenty because, you can save yourself from a crash out. And you don't want to crash out, especially with what all we're doing and what we're representing. Crashing out is not the answer.
Yeah, I totally agree. We can't have you crashing out. You or any of you, right? Tuning in, any of you, right? In our community, we want folks to survive and thrive eventually. And so, I mean, I think, man, I need to listen to that too, what you just said about just taking some space to like clear my brain and like
Yeah.
give myself some new time or new ways to brainstorm or be creative, right? And just kind of get out of the normal routine that I just stay in this like busy go thing, and it's like, oh no, slow
Yeah.
down. That's a good reminder for me, so thank you for that.
Of course.
um yeah, and I mean my like current obsession slash like guilty pleasure, I don't even know if you'd say that, but is I'm currently binging Teen Wolf,
Oh,
uh,
okay, okay.
and loving it.
Yes, my fiance loves Teen Wolf.
Oh my gosh, as me and a buddy have been watching it, and like almost every couple minutes we're like, wait, what's happening? This show is nuts. There's so many different mythological characters popping up. So yeah, it's just like another thing we can laugh at and like forget all the scary, intense things that are constantly happening. Yeah, we gotta
Yes,
have those breaks in between. So
of course. One of
oh
my guilty
man.
pleasures, I would say right now, is binge watching Desperate Housewives. I am on the 8th season. This show is so good. Brie Vandekamp is my favorite. Like
Okay.
literally the best show I've ever witnessed in my life, and it has not been that long, but best show ever.
Oh man, I have not watched that one, so I might have to add that to my list.
Oh, it's so top tier. I love it.
I love it. And I love you. And like how we've come to the end of our time already, but I just want to say thank you again, Isa, for taking the time to just share more of who you are and how you show up in our community, and all of the things that you share with our community, like through your art and activism and all of it. We're just really grateful you're a part of our community.
I'm happy to be a part of the community. I don't even know how I got here. I don't even live here yet.
We're gonna
But
get you. We're gonna get you here eventually, right?
I know. Hopefully within like a month or two. Hopefully.
That's right. That's right. Well, and for folks who missed it, there you go. You can see where you can follow ThatQueerIsa, as well as her house, the Haus of Queer, on the socials. Find out when all the shows are happening. Y'all are really good about putting out the publicity for that, and like ticket links and all of that. So find Isa and her house and support drag artists all over our community. And then let's see, as always, you can learn more about Trans Northland, what we do in the community at our website, which is down below. And I'm excited to tease our upcoming guest star, which is going to be on New Year's Eve. Still at noon, though, not at that midnight time, but Root Holden is going to be joining us next. And for those who don't know Root, they are queer, disabled, eco-spiritual care provider and celebrant based here in the Twin Ports. They provide spiritual discernment sessions, divination, and a lot of other cool things. They recently actually were at our Halloween party doing tarot readings for folks, which they did an amazing reading, which was spot on for me. I don't know if you got a reading there.
I did not.
Oh man, gotta find them somewhere. But yes, so join us next time. That'll be on December 31st here, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And yeah, you won't want to miss that one. I think we'll be talking a little bit about like how we as people like reflect on the year that we just survived through, 2025. Woo! And then thinking about how we move into this next year and just set ourselves up in our community for success, right? As much as we can. So join us next time. And yeah, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, sign up. We've got an email list where you can get all the details about our events. You can find that info all out there. But yeah, until next time, thank you so much for all of you who tuned in and listened in and just joined me on this wonderful journey with ThatQueerIsa.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And we'll be back here in 2 weeks. So take care of yourselves. Happy holidays to all of those who are celebrating all of the many holidays happening during this month. Sending lots of love out to all of y'all. And we'll see you next time.